Welcome to another edition of Beyond the Lines presented by Wizard Sports Picks for Thursday, November 13th. Ian Cameron with you, bringing you a abbreviated edition, at least from my perspective here. Usually I give you about 10, 15 minutes and give you multiple picks, but due to technical issues and time constraints, we're going to just stick to one pick today. It'll be a short video, but nevertheless, we'll give you a free play winner on this edition of Beyond the Lines for this Thursday, November 13th. A reminder, make sure you check out wizardsportspicks.com on a daily basis and all the premium picks that are posted on the website and free plays from all of our great handicappers. We have assembled, I think, the best top to bottom roster of handicappers in the sports betting industry, and you will find all their very fine work on a daily basis at wizardsportspicks.com. Let's get into your free pick, and we are going to NHL action for Thursday. Of course, Thursday is always a very busy night in the NHL, and we will go to a game taking place between the Los Angeles Kings and the Toronto Maple Leafs. We've got pretty much the Kings a slight road favorite, minus 115 in this game. The total sitting at 5.5 at some books, 6 at others. And when you look at this Toronto Maple Leafs team, they have been struggling quite a bit. It goes without saying, just 5-5 in their last 10 games. But if you break it down into just the last 3 games during their 3-game losing streak, and look, a 3-game losing streak in the middle of an 82-game regular season is not supposed to be the end of the world. But when you look at the way the Toronto Maple Leafs are losing hockey games right now, there is very real cause for concern. Their defensive game has been absolutely abysmal. They are missing their best shutdown defenseman by far in Chris Tanev. And I think it coincides with his absence for this Toronto Maple Leafs team as to how and why they have given up so many goals. And just in the 3-game losing streak alone, they have allowed 5 goals in each of those 3 losses, 2 of them to Boston, and then a loss to Carolina sandwiched in between. But the bigger story with the Toronto Maple Leafs, at least for us as bettors, it's been this remarkable total streak that has now reached 12 straight games for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And that is 12 straight games for the Toronto Maple Leafs that have gone over the total, entering this game on Thursday night against the Los Angeles Kings. Why is that? Well, it's a combination of things. It's a failure to adjust the totals and by odds makers to really reflect the realities of this Leafs team, and an abundance of defensive issues that we have talked about. Not to mention, we have seen Toronto start to score more goals than they did early in the season. So when you combine the fact that this is a Toronto team that has obviously been able to score goals, a Toronto team that has struggled that has been able to score goals and that has struggled at the defensive end of the ice, I think you look at this as a situation where it's been the perfect storm, if you will, for why they've gone over the total in 12 straight games. That's right. The over is 12-0 in the Leafs' last 12 games. And through this 12-0 over streak, and particularly the last few games where they've really had an issue defensively, given up 15 goals in their last 3 games combined. We've heard Craig Berube the head coach, try to drill into these players' heads. We've got to start playing better defensively. We have to start competing harder without the puck. We have to start checking harder. We have to start killing plays in the defensive zone. He has basically said this multiple times now, trying to get his team to buy in defensively and be better at that end of the ice, and yet this team is still allowing too many goals. And now they enter this game on Thursday night, possibly without their captain, Austin Matthews, who suffered a lower body injury on a hit from Nikita Zadorov of the Boston Bruins in their loss to the Bruins on Tuesday night. Matthews' absence, it needs to be mentioned. Defensively, he is a very good player. Yes, you're going to miss his offense and his ability to score goals, but he is a good player away from the puck, so they would miss him. And they also, suffered an injury to Anthony Stolarz. Now, Anthony Stolarz has had struggles in net for the Leafs, but that's the last thing you need, when you've lost 3 in a row. As for the LA Kings, they are a team that has been kind of inconsistent this year, and it's funny, the Kings last year were a great road team struggled to win at home. This year, they've actually been struggling at home, 1-6, but they've been very good on the road, 7-1-2 so far this season. And the Kings roll into Toronto with a 2-0 start to this current East Coast road trip, wins over the Pittsburgh Penguins and Montreal Canadiens. They've scored 8 goals in the first 2 games of this road trip. And if you go back further, they've been scoring goals on the road at a pretty consistent clip. They scored 5 goals against Montreal, 3 goals against Pittsburgh in the first 2 games of this road trip. You go back to late October, the last time the Kings made a road trip, they scored 4 against San Jose, 3 against Chicago, 4 against Nashville, and 3 against Dallas. So this team has been consistently scoring 3+ goals on the road. And you go back to their last 6 road games, the Kings have scored 3+ goals in each of those games. So you factor in that the Kings are putting the puck in the net on the road, a Leafs team that continues to give up goals in bunches, and a Leafs team that, even despite the defensive woes, has been able to score 3 goals or more now in each of their last 10 games. The ability to get this game with a total of 5.5, and considering the 12-game over streak in Toronto Maple Leafs games, I'm going to keep riding it. And I'm a veteran handicapper that for years, when I spot a streak and I start to cash in with it, and people that have been paying attention on Wizard Sports Picks know that I have been releasing a lot of premium picks lately on Toronto Maple Leafs games over the total. It's been a staple of mine, and I think it's worth another bet Thursday night in this game between the Los Angeles Kings and the Toronto Maple Leafs. And it is also worth noting that the last time these teams met here in Toronto last season, that game also went over the total in what was a 6-2 Toronto win. Again, it's a perfect storm. The Leafs are scoring enough goals, but they are struggling mightily at the defensive end. The head coach has talked for multiple games about the need to correct the defensive issues, and yet we are still seeing not much, if any, improvement from the Leafs defensively. The Kings are scoring goals on the road this year, as I mentioned, and the Leafs continue to give up goals, but on home ice, after 3 straight losses in a row, I could see the Toronto offense generating some goals themselves. So put it all together, and we are going to ride the streak one more time on Thursday, and we are going to go with the Los Angeles Kings and the Toronto Maple Leafs over 5.5, -132. Shop around FanDuel, DraftKings. Some of those are 2 books in particular that have this total at 5.5, and it is definitely worth a bet at that number, as the Leafs will try to make it 13 straight games of theirs that go over the total. So Los Angeles, Toronto, over 5.5, -132 in NHL action for Thursday night. That's a wrap for this edition of Beyond the Lines. Check out the website, wizardsportspicks.com. I'm on a very solid run in multiple sports right now, 18-10 NHL streak after a New York Rangers underdog winner on Wednesday night in their victory over the Tampa Bay Lightning. We're on a 12-9 or 12-10 college basketball profitable start to the year. 32-24 NFL and college football streak. You can check out my premium picks daily at wizardsportspicks.com. I'm Ian Cameron. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the games and good luck. And this has been another edition of Beyond the Lines for Thursday, November 13th, presented by Wizard Sports Picks.